Hi, I'm Adrienne Roberts. I'm a lecturer in international politics, and I'm here to talk about some of the IPE modules at the third year level. So in terms of IPE, and when I say IPE, I'm referring to international political economy modules, and there are about 4 of them at the third year level. And the first one is just called IPE, International Political Economy, and it's a general overview to some of the theories and themes of interest to students of international political economy. So about half of the course is spent going through some of the major theoretical approaches to IPE, so things like realism, liberalism, Marxism, feminism, constructivism, post-structuralism, so on and so forth. And then there's some focus on the history of the international political economy, and then about half of the course is focused on issues of international political economy, so things like you've got weeks on neoliberalism, weeks on global finance, weeks on trade, weeks on migration, the financial crisis, the Eurozone crisis, and so on and so forth. And then other than this kind of general overview course, we have some more specific courses in IPE, and one of those courses is called International Organizations and Global Governance. And that course looks at the emergence of the system of what we now call global governance over the past 2 centuries, and it focuses on some of the different international organizations and institutions that constitute the core of global governance. So this course is a little bit less focused on theory. There's one week that looks at the theoretical approaches to studying global governance. There's a week that puts us in historical perspective, and then the rest of the course is designed at looking at some of the specific institutions of global governance that are used to govern things like trade and migration, the global governance of health and infectious diseases, humanitarian intervention and some security issues, global governance of the environment, and so on and so forth. There is a third course that's called the International Political Economy of Trade that focuses in particular on the historical and contemporary dimensions of trade and how this is governed through various institutions and some of the issues related to trade politics. And the course that I teach is the 4th course, which is on gender and the international political economy. And this course focuses more specifically on the role of gender in constituting the global political economy. And the aim is to familiarize students with some of the different feminist approaches to studying IPE. So unlike the introductory to IPE course, this course isn't broken down in terms of first looking at theory and then issues, but it looks at different issues through the lenses of different feminist approaches to IPE. So for instance, in the first week of the course, we look at Marxist and socialist feminisms and how these understand social reproduction as integral to the global political economy. The second week looks at post-structuralist approaches to finance and how feminist post-structuralism understands finance as something that's embodied and something that's produced through individuals. There's weeks on post-colonialism, weeks on queer IPE, and various subjects along those lines. So the purpose of that course isn't necessarily to convince students that they need to adopt a feminist approach to IPE, and it's of interest to students who don't adopt a feminist perspective, but in general the aim of that is to introduce some of the issues that tend to be left out of other perspectives on IPE into this course. So we look at things such as the sex work and global trade in bodies and commodities, the gender nature of the prison industrial complex, and so on and so forth.